Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about how energy works. Now, how do energy works? Now, knowing this kind of science, you're going to be able to see things in a wave other than particles. And particles have different shapes and forms. You see what I'm saying? So, when I say, I like to put everything in a broad perspective. So when I say you're going to be able to see everything as a wave other than a particle, to me, I look at people, places, and things as a particle to a whole wave. Because, see, a wave is come in, like, this is energy, and it comes in waves, right? So in your life, you may have a certain energetic signature that comes into your life as a wave, but it plays out through people, places, and things in your life. So I would call those the particles. When you start paying attention to that wave, you start to pay attention to the pieces of that wave, the separate parts of that wave. You see what I'm saying? But it's important to understand energy as a totality so you can understand the whole wave. Because when you're understanding the whole wave, a lot of times when things happen in your life, you can shed the opportunity to blame a person, place, or thing for your circumstance. Because once you see it as a wave, you'll understand that just as this an energetic force coming in your life, and the person, place, or thing just played a role in that wave. And the more you pay attention to the specific particle, aka the person, place, or thing, or situation, the more, you see what I'm saying, the more you're going to single out and get lost into that wave. You're going to get, it's like a wave come in like a world. And you say a world, it's like you just went to a new city and you paying attention to everything in that new city. So you get lost in all the things, in the slang, the people, the clothing. You get lost in all the things there. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got to understand that it's just a wave. Once you sit back and be like, okay, oh, it's just a wave, then it comes and goes. And as long as I don't attach any emotions or feelings to any specific particle throughout that wave, I won't get attached and washed up in that wave. And then you can look at it like this too. There's a lot of waves that you may resonate with that you can jump on with your surfboard and ride that wave, which your mind will be your spaceship. That would be your surfboard in the astral realm, and you could jump on that wave and ride it. You know what I'm saying? Based upon if you resonate where the direction is going, you resonate with how it's going, you resonate with the elements and all the other stars and things that may be riding that wave also. So AKA that'll play out in your life as meeting a bunch of people or going a lot of places, and something like the right place, right time type of thing. type of thing. Pardon me. So, first of all, how does energy come about? Energy is how you see light. So when you see something that have a light, either you an enlightened being or you looking at a planet or a star that has light, they're emitting a frequency and a vibration. So this makes them have an energy. Now, whatever wavelength or color length out of the rainbow ocean that they're vibrating on, that's going to consist of what kind of frequency and vibration that they're on, and that's going to be what color or what kind of light they emit. So when you look at a frequency, a lot of things could tie up under that. Your conscious, the spirit, like not what you're consciously aware of, but you're conscious. You see what I'm saying? What you're consciously aware of come last, but because that's outside of you. But you're conscious, the ability to be aware of yourself. So you know what I'm saying, that taps into the unconscious a lot of times. So it's like it's a slippery slope there. But for the most part, under frequency, you got space, gas, and things of that nature. So when you take your ideas and imagination and thoughts, so when you take your spirit, your conscious, your thoughts, your ideas, you see what I'm saying, and then when you add expression to them, add emotions and feeling to it, you start to vibrate that frequency, that line is no longer dead. It's vibrating now. You give it a time, you give it an experience. It came second. You give it a movement, emotion, and an emotion. You give it soul. You see what I'm saying? So that's when the more powerful a person know how to bring these two things together. You can call it positive, negative, a magnetism and attraction, or the pulling, or whatever like that, and the pushing. You can call it the male and female energy, whatever you want to call it. But the better you know how to do these two energies and bring them together based upon your frequency vibration, that's going to be the more light you emit. So you could be in a negative world, a positive world, a world of knowledge, a world of wisdom, a world of being whatever world you're in, a world of overindulgent or whatever like that. You could become a great light source in that world based upon your frequency vibration. It doesn't matter what world it is. Others may perceive it to be a negative, positive world or whatever, but whatever world or imagination you in, I don't care if you into killing people. If you a person who could come up with a bunch of ideas and a bunch of expressions and emotions around it, you're going to be emitting a lot of light, aka emitting a lot of energy from it. So 9 times out of 10, you got thoughts and you are experiencing them. You're vibrating that frequency. So 9 times out of 10, you're doing the things that's on your mind. So you're creating the energy around and the energetic force field that you have. Even if you're not doing these things, you're gonna have that vibe, that aura, because you're gonna look like, especially to a person like me, Archangel Uriel, you're gonna look exactly like what's on your mind to me. You're going to look exactly like how you feel. Like I said, I only be seeing colors and numbers. So when I see your spirit, I may see a number. When I see your vibrations and your feelings, I only see a color. The shape and form of your physical body matters none to me. So I rarely see that. You see what I'm saying? So when you're looking at, that's a person's light, a person's energy. So when you're looking at planets and suns and things of that nature, they have a certain energy to them. And their energy has them in a certain rotation that's vibrating and going towards a certain wavelength pertaining to what kind of color that they're emitting off. Now, when you see things as energy, energy has a signature. So when you see things as a wave other than a particle, the particle will be a person, place, or thing. So it could be a person right here playing out the same attributes this person was just playing out. And it may be perceived different to you based upon how many illusions you into, you know what I'm saying, how many lights you are up under that blind you from seeing the true aspect of it, aka this person and your relationship with this person may be entirely different than this person. So the way you're catching these energies is in 2 different ways. But think about how you feel when you're relating or picking up the energy from these 2 people. I guarantee it's going to be in the same area of location in the astral realm. And that just means that whatever you're receiving comes from the same wave, same energetic wave. And this is how you take yourself out of the realm of reality and be able to see things from an outside looking in, and not place too much blame or responsibility on a specific person, place, or thing, because it's truly all about you. The world revolves around you. Nobody else exists. So you need to really keep that in your mind. So when I say nobody else exists, I'm talking about in your world. In your world. Nobody else exists. This is your world. So whatever you're manifesting and whoever do pop up to exist in your world, or quote unquote exist and manifest in your world, it was something you created. So you need to know that. You see what I'm saying? It was something you created, and it's something you need to take care of, and something that you need to handle. Or something that if you're not consciously aware of what's going on and you're not looking at the energetic force as a wave and things of that nature, then you're getting lost in the particles of it. AKA, this person make you feel a certain way, so you're lost in that feeling. This person make you feel a certain way, so you lost in that feeling. This thing in this location and situation make you feel this way, so you lost in that way, not knowing it's all from the same wave. And you might get lost and washed up in that whole wave for this whole rest of this existence. And who knows where that wave is going? That wave may lead to your end. You see what I'm saying? So you got to really pay attention to the way energy works. Now, the Pacific way energy works is you already have, like I said, I just explained to you how you have your own light. You have your own energy based upon your thoughts and how much energy, how much feelings and emotions you give to these imaginations and thoughts that's in your head. How much of it you express and things of that nature. So that's your soul connecting to this overall spirit, and your individual spirit is your soul. And the more you know how to do that within these experiences, regardless of what shape your form you're in, which is the matter, the physical part of it, the more you're going to emit light, and the bigger light source you can take. So you don't have to take this kind of light. You can take a bigger something that people can see off you. Make a bigger brain. So when we look at that as a whole, when we looking at energy, for the most part, when you see it as a wave and you know the energy that you already give off, a lot of times when you pick up other people's waves or pick up the wave out here and things of that nature, you can see it for what it is, because it's about what you pay attention to. It's like whatever you're paying attention to, that's what you're channeling. So if you really think about it, right? Think about the things think about all the things you pay attention to. Now take a particle out of that whole wave. Look at that like a wave, as all the things you pay attention to, even if it's a multitude of a bunch of different things. Take one of them, right? Now you're taking a particle. You're paying attention to one of them, right? Now, whatever you're paying attention to, right? I guarantee anything else that you paid attention to come from that string. Come from that string of event. Come from that frequency. Just in another density, in another way, shape, or form. So whatever you're paying attention to, it doesn't matter what you're looking at. It is going to evolve into whatever you're paying attention to within the mind first, within the first eye. They call it the third eye. I call it the first eye. With that eye first. Whatever you're realizing, real eye. For an example, you can see things with these two eyes all day. This is the energy part, the physical eyes, the deaf part. These ones going to rotten out, which you're consciously aware of. But what you realize is beyond what you're consciously aware of. You could be, for an example, you could be in a relationship, an untrustful relationship, right? Now you could be consciously aware of what your partner is telling you all day. But see, when we get to the spirit part of it, and what you realize, you may realize something that what you're not consciously seeing. You may realize this person is cheating, but what you're consciously seeing right now is this person saying they're not doing this, they're not doing that. You see what I'm saying? So that's the light. That's the energy that they're putting off. So don't get lost in your partner light when they're telling you they're not doing this and not doing that, and they got all these excuses. Those are light. Those are illusions. This is coming from their actions, the way they act, how they see things, how they view things. Their sun sign, the sun, their actions. They got that energy and attitude from the sun. You see what I'm saying? So you have to correlate, think. So this is the energy they're giving off. Now you can get lost in that light, that energy that they're showing, or you can realize and see where is that being filtered from. Where is that energy coming from? Not the particle of it, the person, but where's that energy coming from? And it may be coming from a place of them really cheating. So you can realize that with your real eye. You see what I'm saying? So whatever you're paying attention to is what you're actually going to see. So if you really paying attention to this person cheating, that's all you're going to see. You're not going to see what this person is trying to say or their actions. So this would lead you to be like, nah, and them a be trying harder, like, nah, babe, you see what I'm saying? This is, I'm explaining what's going on, what's actually happening in the astral realm when these moments is happening. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a person who understand, you see things as a wave, and you understand energy and energy signatures, you will be like, okay, fuck with the particle of it, fuck what this person, place, or thing is showing me right now from their energy, their spirit, and the situation they're trying to create. I actually see the wave and where that wave came from. And that wave came from a space or location in the astral realm that involves around the cheating energy, and whatever being or energetic entity pushed out that energy first. it come from that wave. See what I'm saying? So you will be able to see the location. Then once you get deep into it, like I said, this is why I encourage everybody to be in astrology, because you will be able to see what. Now you got a lot of haters who may be like astrology is a pseudo and things of that nature. Look, when you start to really understand energy, you start to say fuck the name and the titles. I sense where this energy came from. So if you want to erase what all the planets are named, if you want to erase them even being called planets and stars and constellations, that's fine. Once you get into energy and get into real life, you will understand that, okay, but it's energies and it's lights. And I just described, I'm making a whole video of how you see that shit and how you understand it. So when you understand that, okay, there's far away lights, far away vibrations, aka stuff that you kind of can perceive if you could pick up on it, or if it's too far away you can't perceive it. You know it's there anytime you go somewhere where you're lost into your world. So if you know if everything is as above, so below, as within, so as without, then you'll start to understand that, okay, all the shapes and forms that people are making of is the same shit. It's just there's different perception of it. So that way you will start to look at everything, religion, spirituality, astrology, and be able to see where the energy came from, and whatever is being filtered and whatever name it is and whatever society or civilization is trying to make it now, you'll be able to decipher what's the trueness of it and what's not of it, because you know energy and you know where it came from. You see what I'm saying? So I can sit here, we can have an astrology conversation all day, and I can tell you what's right or wrong within it. But when I say astrology, I'm talking about this, what it means and the energetic force of it. That motherfucking shit is true. So whatever, if you want to argue about the names and it came from Greek and all that shit, we can argue about that all day. That ain't the point. Once you get into the energy, you will understand that whatever you arguing is petty. You see what I'm saying? So right now, if we got just the closest example of that I can relate to y'all, that y'all can kind of have a sense of knowing what I'm talking about, I'm going to relate the two. So in this way, when we talk about astrology, when you say energetic waves and where it's coming from, in astrology, that's the best way right now you can pinpoint where something actually came from. You see what I'm saying? So an energetic wave or a being that pushed out or a star that pushed out that idea and thought, that got filtered through other lights based upon the relationships that they have, and how it got filtered through you to you even knowing your planetary alignment and what energies you got and you picking up. You see what I'm saying? You may naturally play something from a wave. You may naturally play out those energies every day. Same way I'm an Aries. I naturally play out Aries type energetic waves every day. You see what I'm saying? So, and then Aries was accumulated and backed and supported by a star system, and then that star system that did that was backed and supported by a star system. You see what I'm saying? And it goes deep, deep, deep. But that's another video. But I'm trying to get you to understand, once you understand energetic waves, you will be able to understand that, and understand that, okay, everything is just things that we can attach to based upon us channeling and paying attention to it. So when you pay attention to something, you know what I'm saying, you're paying attention. Now you can pay attention to the wave or the particle. I like to pay attention to the wave. Now the wave is going to be part of a bigger wave, but if that's in a dimension and out of your realm of reality, you don't need to worry about where that wave came from, and because that if it appears as a wave to you, then it's a wave. Now it's in a realm of reality where that wave can appear to be a particle to those beings, those higher beings. But you don't need to go that far. But you having a thought and idea and the concept of that, and you drifting off into that time to time, you can start to vibrate on certain frequencies and receive information for those type of beings and bounce off ideas and things from those beings. This is why it is important to vibrate high. People got the wrong concept about frequency vibrations and things of that nature. And rather you suppose, look, it's all about balancing your frequency vibrations. What people don't understand is sometimes they could be vibrating high, but their frequencies could be low. Their frequencies can be high, but they're vibrating low. You know what I'm saying? And then when they balancing, they could be overall, their frequency vibrations could be low, and they could be a balanced person real low there, or they could be vibrating frequencies very high and balancing up there and real high. And all these are different sciences, but the whole purpose is to be balancing. And once you understand balancing, you know sometimes you got to vibrate high in order to manifest and balance up there. Then sometimes you need to vibrate low and balance there in order to let things go and let things detach in order for you to receive new things. And sometimes you need to bring yourself in the center stage again in order to know, so you can have new experiences to know what to receive and know what not to receive again. But it's all different ways to look at vibrating. But you're not going to manifest anything in your life without vibrating high. And see, look, when you're vibrating high, when your frequency vibrate high, right? Frequencies, that's having high thoughts, high ideas. We could call them good ideas, but there's no such thing as good or wrong. Let's just say high ideas, high thoughts, high information. You see what I'm saying? And then when you're vibrating up there, right, you have to bounce off. So you may have to bounce off from something that was blocking you or keeping you from behind, or something that was dragging you down. So you may have to be negative in a certain way in order to springboard real high also. You know what I'm saying? But being negative to something that's negative to your life is ultimately positive. You see what I'm saying? But it's not negative or positive how y'all trying to look at right or wrong. It's not that. These are just all things you have to do. Then once you bounce off and vibrate high and things of that nature, you can start to experience those high ideas, not just have those high ideas. You see what I'm saying? Having high thoughts and ideas, vibrating high, yeah, you start to receive high. You can start to bounce off and receive high ideas from all beings and entities that was vibrating on that frequency. You know what I'm saying? But in order for you to experience that or will that into your experience, you have to vibrate up there also. That's the only way you're going to be able to manifest or bring your creations down into your dimension, by your wills, by your fluids, by your ability to cry with all your chakras, all your fluids. That's the only way. You see what I'm saying? You have to vibrate high. You have to shake up and bubble the rainbow waters that you are, the ram in the world, the womb that you are in, aka the world that you are in, that you are creating for yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way it's going to get attention and create a light source and come in any kind of way, shape, or form. You can't be scared of the shapes and forms that is coming. And then we're in a realm of reality where we're limited. This is a limited realm of reality. So it's only so many shapes and forms and ways that something can even come to you. And that's through people, places, and things. And you have entities and societies up here that got a bunch of other things that's already into play. So you got like money and things of that nature. So, you know, but energy and waves overrides that. Currency overrides that. So in the realm of reality you in, it's limited here. So it have to come in these ways, shape, and form. But as long as you're spiritually inclined and know how to decipher and look at waves, you will know what's coming to you. And you'll know what waves to ride. And you'll know what directions them waves is going. And not to be led off in the wrong direction. So energy is deep. But the energetic, what matters to you becomes matter in physical form and all things that you can be consciously aware of that's outside of you. This is why energy always trying to bring itself back to itself and relate, because it is detached from the soul and the spirit. You see what I'm saying? So it's always trying to find its way back, and it does that through trying to find souls. You see what I'm saying? Well, it's like a give and receive match. Souls try to find bodies. And bodies need souls in order to have movement, to move, to be able to have motion. You see what I'm saying? So it's really like they're creating each other. You know what I'm saying? But the spirit and the soul creates the shapes and forms. This is how you get signs, how we make planets and signs and correlates and things of that nature. And that creates the physical. Then that's a life of its own. But that life is limited. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of rulers who don't want to leave that portion of life. So they create a bunch of things to sustain itself here. And to do that, they have to become rulers. And to become rulers, they have to become a greater light source, a greater shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas, aka a frequency vibration of spirit, like I explained it earlier. They have to become a greater source of that than the smaller ones that's coming in. And they have to create illusions, aka lights, to entice smaller spirits to them. And as long as they can wrap up these lights, these smaller lights in their rotation, they become a bigger light. You know what I'm saying? AKA black holes and things of that nature. So they're able to sustain and create more life. So it becomes a dog eat dog world. You see what I'm saying? And that's another video, because y'all not really even understanding that right there. But that's another video right there. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to make this video too long because this is just about understanding energy. And that correlates with energy also. You know what I'm saying? So you're always going to be under a hierarchy of energetic forces. So you don't have to look at them as beings or entities all you want. But I guarantee you're gonna reach a limit or a boundary that may not be the overall limit or a boundary, but it may be you may reach a boundary or limit over an energetic force or entity that controls that limit, that controls that limitation. And you would have to fight their parameter and fight their limitation and to even expand yourself. And think about, is you actually doing that in your life? Flight bus, bitch, goddamn air.